Good morning. I wanted to pop on and discuss this idea of reduce and reuse before we recycle. We live in this very, quickie use and quickie dispose of society, and I've really changed my life over the years to try to not accumulate and contribute to all the piles of waste. It's like, where does all this stuff go? And especially with plastic, every single piece of plastic ever created is still on this planet somewhere. So it's sort of like, I don't know, maybe you want to take a little bit of personal responsibility for your own materials and just think about things a little bit. And I was thinking about this today because I'm just loving this vintage resale skirt that I got at Buffalo Exchange. You can see the whole thing. You can't really see it here. You can see the whole thing. I put it in the Instagram stories, and it's a spinner. It's got these great pockets. But I got this skirt, and I got the top, and the whole thing was $22. So pretty much, I'd say about 90% of my wardrobe and probably 80% of my household is reuse, which means that I buy it at resale shops. I used to be really into thrift stores. I don't really have time to go and sort through all that stuff anymore, but I would find amazing designer things, sometimes with tags. But when you do that resale, it's cool because even for your house, you're getting this hodgepodge of things from all of time. And so it's not the same things that everyone else has, and you can really curate a collection that is unique to you. So anyway, I just want to throw out a couple of sort of like reduce, reuse tips that I have in my household that I think are so easy to do, and you just don't really think about it until you've had the idea put into your head. So one of the ideas is I got rid of paper towels in my house, and paper biodegrades, but it's one thing that I just realized I don't need it all. So, they come in plastic, they're shipped around the world from wherever in big trucks and then put on the shelves and all of that. So what I do now is I just cut up any sheets or old cotton t-shirts, anything like this, and I just have these piles of rags underneath every sink. And I wash them. So I have a little basket, I clean, and I use just vinegar and white distilled vinegar and water in spray bottles with a little bit of essential oil to clean my house. I try to have low toxic chemicals. Anyway, so I just use these and I wash them, and if they get especially gross from human or animal or any kind of nasty stain or gunk, I just toss it because it was going to the trash anyway, but I get a little bit more use out of it, and I don't need paper towels. The other thing that I've gotten rid of is plastic bags in my house, which cities keep trying to do by, taxing or eliminating in the stores. And, I take my bags or use a paper bag, or, if I'm just getting one thing. It's funny to me when something's already in a box or plastic, then they put it in another plastic bag for you. A lot of people will say, what about cat litter? And I just buy those bio bags, the eco bags that are made of corn, and they're a little bit more expensive, but again, it's just my contribution to the planet and the greater good. Obviously they're more expensive than using free plastic bags from the grocery. But again, just thinking about even for your dog, poop in a plastic bag, then put in the trash. What does that do over time? And I don't really want to be a part of that. So I just use the bags that will degrade and free the poop to degrade in its own time and compost into, not just being a pile of trash. And then another thing that I do all the time that I'm thinking about is, for example, I have this candle that burned out and the glass is really beautiful. So I peeled off all the labels and I will melt it down. You can kind of see it still has the rest of the candle in there. So I'll melt this down in the oven just on a low heat, pour it out, clean it up, and then it'll be a really pretty little flower vase. So I just kind of do things like that whenever I see them or the opportunity arises. And you don't have to go crazy with it or be militant, but just kind of being aware all the time of those little things. And especially for the house, we just throw away so much stuff, and I see furniture on the side of the road and things like that. So if you're getting rid of stuff, take it to one of the donation centers. If it's not actually ruined, someone can use it, and might be someone out there that will really appreciate a heavily discounted item. And I've gotten things on Craigslist, like I bought a bunch of West Elm stuff that was like new from a dentist and his wife that were moving years ago, and I still have a lot of that stuff. So instead of paying $2,000 for it, I paid $200. I'm not as precious about it, so if I move and want to get rid of that stuff, I don't have as much of an attachment to it. It's a little bit more, just like keeping the stuff going and circulating instead of just throwing it away. So just an idea, thinking about ways that you can do that in your life, in your home, and it's kind of just a cleaner, greener way to live. And check out the Instagram stories if you want to see this really cool vintage skirt spinning around and in a full shot, because this is sideways and Instagram stories is long and tall. All right, check you later. Bye.